Welcome back to the Homeschool Advantage podcast. I'm your host, Beth's Buzzy. Today's guest is Monica Cuquerella. Monica is the CEO and founder of Active Play. When Active Play was born, Monica was running workshops, extracurricular and after-school classes, birthday parties, corporate events, camps, messy play sessions, phonics and private lessons, and so much more. Active Play provides great experiences for you and your family that will shape your little child's life. Their motto is learning through fun and play. Active Play offers Spanish and English lessons, workshops, and so much more. Get ready for the adventure. In this episode, we talk about how learning through fun is possible, and homeschooling is honestly the easiest thing you can do, and you should go for it. Also, how she created a wide variety of resources for your children. And lastly, how Active Play provides great experiences that will shape your child's life. So go grab your coffee, go grab your tea and a pen and paper, because you're not going to want to miss what Monica has to say. Let's get into the podcast. Say hello to our guest and tell us a fun fact about your industry that will really surprise our listeners.
Hello, everybody. I'm happy to be here today. Like everybody knows, there's some difference between Spanish speakers and English speakers. Also, when you learn the language, like idioms or the pronunciation of certain words or the pronunciation of certain letters that maybe doesn't exist in your own language. For example, a saying like "it's raining cats and dogs" that we learn in English, in español, in Spanish will be like "it's raining a cántaro," está lloviendo a cántaro. So it doesn't make much sense saying like está lloviendo muchos perros y gatos, for example. Or the pronunciation, for example, of the R sound, the rrr. Spanish people pronounce it really like rrr, like a motorbike sound, when in English it's like rrr, it's like rrr. Very light, kind of. So it's funny to teach. And the other way around too, to teach the kids English, to teach like doing a motorbike. It's funny too.
No, it's the language is so interesting. It's funny when I was teaching, Spanish, my English speakers, I have to do so many different little techniques to try to help them understand, because you're right. Like they can do all the things, but since their mouth and their tongue, whatever, hasn't been accustomed to doing it, they think they can't do it. They're like, I can't do it. I'm like, you can do it. It's like, it's not that hard. You do it over here. So that's awesome. So what is the focus of your work? Let's talk about what you do and what your focus is.
We mainly trying to make language fun and learning fun. So we do a lot of workshops, classes, entertainment, sensory, and experimental sessions where the methodology is really open, so the kids can explore through fun and play. Basically, it's our main goal, and they enjoy learning.
That's awesome. So what ages do you focus on?
Well, we have from baby groups, to up to teenagers, or even like secondary school or primary too. Like we divide them in groups that we find it easier, and then we organize activities like mixed ages, so then they can learn from each other, like a camp activity, that they're kind of a mix, so they can learn from each other and help each other.
Now you're not in the United States, right?
No, I'm not.
Where are you?
Settled in Spain now, in Valencia. So I'm in the coast area.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I miss Spain. I was there for about 5 weeks studying over there. Oh my gosh. I want to bring my husband so badly, because my family is from Spain. I'm from Galicia and some from Andalusia. So oh my gosh, I so want to bring him there so he could see it and he can experience España. So it's so beautiful. It was probably one of the most fun times that I've had. It was beautiful. It was so beautiful.
Happy to hear. You are welcome here to come if you want.
It was really cool being able to go to a country where a lot of people looked like me.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, people look like me. This is awesome. I was like, they have the same body type as I do. This is awesome. Because here in the United States, like my other half of the family is Puerto Rican and they look completely different, right? Like their body shapes are different. Like they just have it completely different. I really took more to the Spanish side of my family. And it's like, you can see the real like difference. Like, oh my gosh, and my grandfather, he spoke Castellano puro. It was like beautiful talking to him. So I love Spain. It's where Spanish began, and it really helped me like build my roots when I went to Spain. Like I really had a strong like connection, and Spanish spoken over there, I just felt the culture more. And I love the fact that that's what language is, right? When you speak a different language, you're able to actually become part of that person's like culture. You can see things
Yeah.
through the language that you're not able to see if you don't know it. I found that very
Yes.
powerful.
Yes. The best is to live in the country, or at least experiment it for a while, to feel part of it, and then to make it life, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing I had to get used to when I was in Spain was dinner being so late. I was like, dude, they're eating at 10 p.m. Like, this is so late. But now my husband and I, like, we literally eat like a European life. Like, we'll have dinner at 10 or 11. People like, you're eating so late. We're like, it's normal. It's like, it's fine. No worries. But it was definitely a
Yeah.
different lifestyle. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. So talking more about what you do. So what inspired you to create, this type of program for kids to learn like authentic Spanish and English?
Well, I'm teacher. I had experience in different kind of areas, like for example in camps or in schools or like different areas and places, also like countries. And in all of them, I noticed that kids lose that curiosity that they have to learn. So inside myself, I was saying, I don't want to be another teacher like the rest that it's already, because obviously you see like kids don't want to learn and then they get bored when learning it's good. Like that curiosity that the child has when he's 5 years old shouldn't be ended. And then they got into primary and then they're already hating school, or they don't want to learn, or they're more focused on technology and know what is around. So I was just trying to break that situation to create a space where, with different resources and activities, materials, the kids could experiment and have fun through learn through fun. That was my main goal.
So what are some things you do to have more fun in learning foreign language?
For example, like instead of just memorizing how we used to do, or learning grammar, like you do a role playing, or you create a letter, or imagine that you are learning things about food, food topic or restaurants. So then you imagine that you are going to Spain or you're going to England or any other English country where they have to, and then you imagine that you are sitting down in a restaurant and then you have to order food. So then there comes the waiter and then the other one is taking the receipt. I don't know, like that, like to make it like real experiment, for example. Or when we learn also, especially young ages, like you need to make it very to feel it. So instead of saying red is rojo, rojo is red, like you do through songs or through stories or something like a material that they could really feel it or touch it, so that gets more connected to it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a lot of fun. Yeah. You want them to be able to experience the truth of like how you use a language, right? Have it more authentic and to be more like actually usable. Yeah, when I used to teach my students, I used to bring them to different restaurants in the neighborhood. I think one year I brought my students to, it was a Spanish museum in Manhattan, and they had to do a scavenger hunt and find different pieces of art.
Yeah.
And that was so much fun. And then after we went to a Colombian restaurant, that was near where we were, and they all had to order because everybody there was Colombian, and they only spoke Spanish, so they had to order in Spanish. I was like, you guys got to order in Spanish, or it ain't going to be eaten. So it was a lot of fun for them to do that. Those things are so cool because it gives them so much confidence, and it just makes them feel so good to be able to do something different.
Yeah, because
That's
it's not just
awesome.
memorizing, it's to make it life. Like what you do and you're using it. It's like when we used to be little, we used to be kids and say, what do I need to do? Or what do I need to know at the timetable, for example, and then you know that when you're adult, you're going to use them a lot, for example, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's so cool. So where can our listeners connect with you and purchase your program or get registered to one of your classes?
Well, we do online lessons through Zoom, or also we have a channel where we upload. We try to do it weekly, but at the moment it's getting busy, so it's a little bit difficult to do it. But we have regularly we have new stories, for example. That is the best way to learn a language, through stories or through songs. That's another way. We do stories, activities,
They can
classes
connect,
too.
so they can connect with your website, activeplay.fun. Is that your
Yes,
website? Yeah.
yes,
And they can find you on your YouTube channel.
yeah, and also on Facebook or Instagram too, with Active Play, the same name.
Okay. And is it Active Play on your YouTube channel?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. That's awesome. Great. So they have a bunch of I'll put those links in the show notes so they'll be able to just be able to click and go. Awesome. And just get right into all the resources that you have. So as we're wrapping up, what is one thing you want the listeners from today to be able to get from our conversation?
Well, the main idea of all of that, like I think that you and me connect quite well when we were having chat a little bit earlier. Like learn through fun is possible, and homeschooling is great resource for the children. Like anyone could make it. Like
Yeah.
you need to read, especially if you're not teacher. If you're teacher, maybe you know a little bit how to program, how to do, activities, how to plan a lesson. But if you're not, then you could read it a little bit and just feel like and follow your child's rhythm, because every child is different and it's not possible to follow all of them the same rhythm.
So
And
true.
yeah, like it's possible, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Awesome. Monica, thank you so much for coming on today. And I know it's so late over in Spain. Right now it's after 11 p.m., guys, and she's up and she's here talking to you guys and wanting to connect and just let you know that she's available. She's here to teach your children authentic Spanish from Spain and give them culture. It's going to be awesome. And you can catch her on also her YouTube channel, but definitely look her up and connect with her. Monica, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you very much.
If you love the conversations we're having here on the Homeschool Advantage podcast, follow or subscribe our podcast to stay in the loop and never miss this amazing content. And please highly consider taking a minute to leave a positive rating and review to help others like you discover this show. See you next time.